Hey everyone. So it's November 2018 and I've been living in the van full time without a physical address now for just over a month. And I thought I'd do an update video. So overall, I've been living in the van for maybe 2.5 months. So I was living in the van a little bit before I moved out of my house and just using the shower and the toilet there. And so far everything's been going pretty well. So So what have I done in the first month? Okay, so in the first month I've done 3 trips away. So right now I'm at the Lamington National Park at the Green Mountains camping area. And as you can see in the video, it's very relaxing here. I have trees around me, got a nice breeze, and it's very relaxing. And this is my lounge room. So ordinarily, before I moved out of the house, I'd just be in the house on the computer. Now, because you don't want to be stuck in the van, you want to get out and about a bit more. I'm in a national park with nature, and it's extremely relaxing, and I'm enjoying it. And Previous to that, I've been to Spices Gap, and I also went out towards Inglewood with my dad, and I went to some national park there. I can't remember the name of it. It's got some Aboriginal name that I can't pronounce, but I've got a video on that as well. And so I've done 3 trips away in the first month, which is more than what I'd normally do in like an entire year. So that's pretty good for getting out and living life a bit more and enjoying yourself. So what have I learnt during the first month? Well, in the first month I had about a week of rain, and during that time the batteries were getting down a little bit to about 12.5 volts, and it wasn't really getting back up to maximum. And so I'd either have to go for a really big drive or find for the alternator to charge it up, or find somewhere to plug in and charge up with a battery charger. And so when I went out to Dad's, he helped me put a second solar panel on, because he has a lot more tools than what I had. We put rails on the top, and we put the 2 solar panels on. So I've got 600 watts of solar on there now. And after we installed it, I was getting 20 amps, just over 20 amps put into the batteries, and that's when the batteries were close to being full. So Dad said, in theory, if the batteries were depleted more, the solar regulator would put more than 20 amps in. So I can actually draw more power than my wall charger, which is 15 amp charger, from my solar panels. So right now, I should never have power issues again, because those 2 solar panels in good sun will put a lot of power into those batteries. And it's been just over a week since I put that second solar panel on, and so far the batteries have never dropped below 12.8. And then during the day, when it's charging, it'll go right up into the 14 volt range, and then in the boost charging period, and then it sits in the 13.6, 13.8 range when it's just putting a little bit of charge in. And then at the end of the day, before I leave work, for example, I look at it and it's sitting around 13.3 to 13.5 ish. Sometimes I think it was at around 13, but when I'm using it and drawing power, and in the morning before I leave, it's charging, so it's in the 13 range. But before I go to bed, it's never dropped below 12.8. And when I'm finished work, I'm on the computer all night till I go to bed. So maybe you're looking at anywhere up to 4 hours, maybe 5 hours of using a laptop. So with the power side of things, that's all sorted, and that's good. One little thing I did have, I've got a huge 3,000 watt inverter in there, and I was watching videos on YouTube about the power when it was raining, because I was concerned about the batteries dropping down. and those batteries should be able to drop down to 10.5 volts, but ideally you don't want to go below 11. And I really don't want to deplete the batteries a lot too, so I really didn't want to go below 12.5 volts, because the less you decharge deep cycle batteries, the longer they last. So I saw videos on YouTube of people with a clamp meter with a 3000 watt inverter, and it was drawing like 5-6 amps just sitting idle doing nothing. And so I figured, well, for just using a laptop, that's a lot of power. So I bought myself a small 150 watt inverter. That's just a cigarette lighter one. And when I'm using the laptop and all my other smaller devices, well, the laptop's really the only one that doesn't have like a 12 volt plug or USB plug. And so it's just for really using the laptop. And the documentation says it pulls less than 0.5 amps at idle. So obviously I'm going to be drawing less power off the battery just using a laptop with that smaller inverter. So that's what I did. So if you do want to run bigger appliances and you need a bigger inverter, I would potentially look at getting a smaller inverter for say your laptop, or you can get cigarette lighter plugs for a lot of laptops as well. So something like that, just so you're not drawing more power than you need to, just because the inverter has capacitors and stuff in it that store power, so it draws a lot of power just sitting idle, the bigger ones anyway, just to maintain that. So the other thing I did is I bought a fan to blow air on me, because it is starting to warm up. We've been having 30 degrees plus days, which is hotter than it has been in previous years, but we are getting that at the moment. So I only got that today, so it's early days yet, but when I was testing the fan, it got a really good airflow, so that should really help me. And on the highest setting it pulls 3 amps, and on the lowest setting it pulls 1.5, and I think the medium setting was like 2.3 amps or something. So it doesn't draw a lot of power, and I can just plug it in. I can run that all night if I want, quite easily with my battery setup. I got 520 amp hours of batteries. So as for sleeping in the cities, I haven't had any issues at all with that. So as I was saying, sleeping in the city, no problems finding places to sleep. I've slept in residential areas, I've slept in commercial areas, no problems at all. One of the things I am going to look into a bit more is finding places to hang out in my van after work or before work in the city, so I can have my van doors open, breeze blowing through. There's parks and things like that, sometimes there's a lot of people there, so just trying to find somewhere where I can chill out and relax, with the doors open both in the evening before I go to bed and in the mornings. So that's the one thing I've got to look into a bit more, just for my own relaxation and comfort, I guess, before I go somewhere to sleep. That way I don't have to worry about the fan or the heat in the van. I can just have the nice breeze blowing through. Is there anything else? As of right now, like I said, by the end of November, early December, I should know whether I can handle the Queensland heat. And on my days off, obviously, I come to a place like this where I can chill out, no one else around, and this is my lounge room. So I can chill out here, I can go bushwalking and enjoy, I guess, all the natural wonders of Australia, the national parks and stuff that people travel all the way from the other side of the world to experience. And it's here in our backyard, and a lot of us don't go out and enjoy it. So living in the van, I can do that. I've done, like I said, 3 trips in the last month already, which is more than what I was doing in an entire year. Now, yeah, sure, you can do that living in a house, but you get into your routine and you don't tend to do that. So because I'm looking for places to chill out, I can go for a drive to national parks, and in southeast Queensland, close to where I live, there's lots and lots of national parks, and it was $6.55 a night for a national park, which is what the cost of a Big Mac, maybe a little bit less than a Big Mac. So it was really cheap for just 1 or 2 nights, and then head back into the city, like, you know, the day before you need to go back to work. So far, van life has been treating me well. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, I'm going to continue the journey, and I'll continue trying to make some videos. I'm not going to be one of these high volume video creators that's creating videos every day, but when I go out to different national parks, I'll try to create videos. If I think of that I think would be good for you guys to know, then obviously I'll do a video on it. Okay, so I ran out of recording space because of all the videos I've been doing today, so I just copied it off onto my computer to free up some space. Before, you just saw a van leaving the camp area, so because I'm in a camper van spot, it's just off the road. You pull in off the side where they have room for your van, but there's not a lot of traffic here, but yeah, so far everything's going well. There's some people setting up beside me in a tent, so hopefully it still remains peaceful and quiet here tonight. And tomorrow I plan on checking out all the different tracks, which I'll do videos for as well. So anyway, I will end this video there.